General's Lady. This drama is about a notorious general and a daughter from a Nazicrats family. Back then, an Nazicrats family was considered like a social pillar, high status, inheritance, just very high social level of social class, basically. They were just like a high pillar. And I guess it was important for them to, whether they were in the royal home, if they were considered royal, they still had to be married off to someone that was considered worthy, I guess. So the daughter had to be married to a general, but she wasn't supposed to be the one to marry him. It was her sister first, her stepsister. Um, but what happened was her sister and her sister's mother always bullies her mother, bullies her maid, bullies all of them. Her father is a weakling who is always mean and indifferent to her. She's very unfavored child. Throughout her whole entire childhood, she's treated differently. Um, so eventually, to protect her mother from being bullied any further, she takes the marriage on, steps in, and marries the general. So she takes it up to marry the general, and um, she gets sent off with her maid to where the general is. Along the way, an ambush happens where the general comes and fights the ambushers, and he has a mask on. I'm sure his mask did fall off, but I'm not really sure. I don't really remember that. But she gets to see how swift and how brilliant the notorious general really is. All she knows is the amazing stories that the townspeople says, and how he's this and how he's that. And she doesn't really know him, but she knows hearsay about him. So finally, what happened was he, being a general who fought in many wars, believes, any bride can be a bride, right? He didn't believe that the woman that was coming to him was supposed to be his actual wife. He thought it was a plant, a trick from the enemy. He thought the bride was working for somebody else. He thought so many things. She was probably the fourth bride that came his way, and the other three had died. But she was actually sent by the emperor himself, and she is supposed to marry him. So she's promised to marry the general, who wasn't really sure about her. So he abandoned her after the ambush, after he won the fight victoriously. So she having to find her own way and walk all the way to where the general may live. He give her a lot of trouble, lots and lots of trouble. She didn't know who the general was, and she got him mistaken when she first arrived at his place. Also, there was a lot of resistance in the beginning because he wasn't really sure about her. Like, is she a traitor? Is she somebody sent by the enemy? Is this for real? He's been in battles all his life, and he's never, he's always been on guard. So to have someone who is sincere, who's really there to get, really marry him, something that he general probably doesn't think about if he doesn't already have a family. It's an idea, but back in that time when you're fighting so many wars, the thought isn't to get married. It isn't to have children. It isn't to do all that. It's to get home safely, probably. Win all the battles, make sure that your men get home safely to their families. And things like that. He probably had more concerns than just marriage or, having someone by his side because he's never had anybody. Eventually, the girl pretends to die, and she basically tricks him. So she pretends to die, and the enemy takes her to a place where she doesn't even know, because she poisoned herself. Not in a bad way, not to the point where she just died, but she died for fake for a little bit. And then it changed his view of her, and then he slowly started to open up to him. That's what made the story like turn out better, because when he really truly learned, once the enemy actually took captive his wife, he finally realized that his wife was not his enemy, and that she was sincerely sent there with good intent. So eventually he becomes warm-hearted. He becomes more opening to her. They began to grow a strong bond and a strong love for each other. She really getting to know him. He really getting to know her. He's strong. He helped her become stronger. Also, because of him, she stands up to her sisters more. She becomes less bullied. She just has a stronger will, a stronger stanza against things in life now. Because now she has somebody who's going to stand and fight with her, love her, protect her, and help her. The general also has somebody who is smart, very strategical, able to help him in ways that he doesn't know how. So now she has a partnership, but though she has found love, she still has to go through obstacles and different things like that, with the emperor being suspicious of her husband, having her to spy on him. So many things, so many things. Her family being almost beheaded, and going into jail. She going into jail, her husband having to save her. All these great things are going to happen. So many things in between. But you guys should definitely check it out.